The Icelander is a breed that probably descends from horses brought by the Vikings to Iceland between 860 and 935. The Norse settlers, followed by those from Northern Ireland, the Isle of Man and the Western Islands of Scotland, then brought with them the ancestors of the Highland and Shetland, who were interbred with local horses. Some believe, like the writer Elwyn Hartley Edwards, that there is also a kinship with the Yakut originating from Russia. Furthermore, it is undeniable that there are morphological similarities with the Nordlands Hest and the Fjord of Norway, as well as with the Faroe Islands pony. The Icelandic horse is one of the purest horse breeds in the world, and this is due to the laws passed around 980, which prohibited the importation of horses into Iceland. Its approval was largely influenced by the degeneration of the breed, caused by attempts at crossbreeding with Oriental horses. It is a unique breeding method in the world, which goes so far as to prohibit all Icelandic horses which have left the territory from returning to the island. It was in the 12th century in the Landnámabók, the Book of Colonization, that we find the first Icelandic horse known by name, a mare named Skalm. During this period of history, the Icelandic horse was considered the most valuable possession, and it was not uncommon for those who had been in war to be buried alongside their rider. The development of the Icelandic horse is essentially based on natural selection, the weakest not having survived the lack of food and the very harsh climate of Iceland. Not to mention natural disasters, such as in 1783 during the Laki eruption, where nearly 70% of Icelandic horses died of poisoning or starvation. The Icelandic Horse Association was founded in 1904, around 20 years before the breeding register, the first publication of which took place in 1923. The first known export took place at the end of the 19th century, at the request of the English, who needed small, robust horses to work in the coal mines. However, there is no written record of this event, so, officially, the first export was made in 1940, to Germany. Likewise, the United Kingdom officially welcomed the Icelandic horse onto its territory only in 1956, with the creation of a breeding program launched by Stuart McIntosh, a Scottish farmer. His initiative will motivate other breeders, and this is how the Icelandic Horse Society of Great Britain will be created in 1986. The Icelandic horse is managed by a federation which was founded in 1969 by Iceland, but also by Austria, Denmark, Germany, the Netherlands and Switzerland, later joined by France and Norway in 1971, as well as by Belgium and Sweden in 1975. More than 300,000 Icelandic horses have been registered worldwide since its creation. The Icelandic horse, which is isolated from other breeds, is rarely sick, apart from a few parasitic manifestations. This does not mean that he is immune, it is more than likely that the introduction of another breed into the country could cause disaster on the herd in the event of a new disease. The Althing Law of 1982 is therefore not a simple breeding tradition, but also a protective measure essential to the survival of the Icelandic horse. This also explains the country's strictness when it comes to disinfection of all horse riding equipment brought into Iceland. The Icelandic horse, which is still present with farmers to drive their sheep in the Icelandic highlands, continues to play an important role for the country's population, despite mechanization which increasingly deprives it of its usefulness.